Hi everyone, welcome back again to another real world scenario series video. In this video, I'll be hacking into a Wi-Fi network having WPA or WPA2. Before I start off, I'll be doing some basics on how WPA or WPA2 actually works. So basically what happens when we try to connect to a Wi-Fi network is that there is a pre-shared key, what we call a password for the Wi-Fi, is used to generate a PMK, which is a pairwise master key. And this PMK is used alongside with the announce, which is sent by the access point, which is basically a random integer of around 256 bits, to create a PTK or pairwise transit key, which is used to encrypt all the traffic between the access point and the client. Now if you want to know more, you can read about PTK and about the structure of it here, but I'll directly move on to the four-way handshake, which basically starts when we try to connect to the access point. Now at first the access point sets out a announce, which I mentioned over here, which is basically a random integer of 256 bits to the client, which also has a key replay counter to prevent replayed messages. After this, the client uses the announce and the PMK, which is generated from the PSK, to generate its PTK, and after that is done, it sends out its own announce, which is similar to like the announce. It generates its own one, which is also a random integer of 256 bits, along with the MIC, that's a message integrity check, which is a short piece of code to authenticate the message, along with a key replay counter. In the third frame, the access point sends out the MIC and the GTK, which is the group temporal key, to the client. The group temporal key is used to encrypt all the broadcast or multicast from the access point. And in the fourth one, there is a acknowledgement from the client saying everything is okay, and sends out a MIC. Now this is kind of a bit complicated to explain up in simpler words, but as far as our video is concerned, we are basically concerned with the first frame. So basically we are using something called a robust security network association, which is used to derive this PTK. So in the first message, which is sent out from our access point, is such that our authenticator sends out a APOL key frame containing the announce message to the client. Now this message, which is the first frame which is sent out by the access point, has all the necessary information to construct and generate the PTK. So in the picture you can see that there is a first announce which is sent by the access point to the client. Our client is over here. This is the access point. And this is the first message which is sent from the access point to the client to derive the PTK. Now this is the first frame which is sent out by the access point to the client when it attempts to associate with the network, and you can see that it has all the necessary information to generate the PTK. Now also if you look below over here, it has the WPA key announce, that's an announce, it's a long key here, and it has the EPOL RSN, that's a robust security network key, and it has the key description over here. And if you look below over here, it has the RSN, that's the robust security network PMK ID. Now this is disclosed to the client itself in the first frame. So this is what we are going to use to hack into the Wi-Fi network, or basically crack the PSK. Now the disclosure of the PMK ID in the first frame itself is only possible when the AP supports roaming functions. Now roaming functions are such that they allow the client to do a fast transit from one base station to the other base station, especially useful when he is in motion. The tools I'm going to use is Wi-Fi brute. I'll show you how to set it up now. So to set up Wi-Fi brute and to visit this directory on GitHub, copy this link here. Now if you look under the installation section, it mentions that we need to install SCPI also. So let's go ahead and do that. As you can see, SCPI is already installed on this machine. If it is not installed, you're going to have to install it using pip install SCPI. If also for some reason you don't have pip also installed, you're going to have to install by typing in apt-get install python-pip. can see over here pip is installed on this machine. So when I do ls over here, we can see that our Wi-Fi brute script is here, which we are going to use. Before we start off into Wi-Fi brute, we are going to have to set the word list file to use for our dictionary attack. And for this video, I'm going to use the rocky.txt file, which comes pre-installed in Kali Linux system. Now, a point to be noted over here is rocky.txt file has passwords which are having a length of less than 8 characters. And as per WPA and WPA2 standards, we need passwords which are greater than 8 characters. Now to do that, I'm going to use a simple command line. Over here, I'm going to use cat to output out all the passwords from rocky.txt. That output I'm going to pipe to PW inspector, wherein I'm going to set a condition to filter out passwords which are having a minimum length of 8 and a maximum length of 30. The output from PW inspector I'm going to put into a file called Rocky Wi-Fi. Now I'm going to start off to put my Wi-Fi interface card into monitor mode. And over here VLAN 0 mon is our interface on monitor mode. Now this is the command line that we are going to use. As the Wi-Fi brute is a Python script, we have to type in Python followed by the Wi-Fi brute script. And we're putting I for the monitor interface that we created over here. D for the word list file, that is also what we created here, that's Rocky Wi-Fi. M is for the mode. Now there are several modes here in Wi-Fi brute. The mode 1 is for handshake attack, the mode 2 is for PMK ID, mode 3 is for offline cracking, mode 4 is for DOS attacks. So we are choosing mode 2, that's for PMK ID. The W parameter over here is to write the PMK ID to a file called hash. Now it's scanning for the available networks. It has found 4 networks. I'm going to stop the scanning by pressing Ctrl C. We're going to select the third network over here, that's Percy 12. So you can see over here that it has found the password as password 2. Now this sort of attack is only possible on routers or hotspots which are having the roaming functions enabled. If not, it's going to tell you it's not vulnerable to PMK ID attack, as the first frame will not contain the PMK ID. But most of the routers and hotspots are still vulnerable to this sort of attack, so you can go ahead and try it out. Now that we have saved the PMK ID to a file called hash in the same directory, we can use that hash file to carry out a custom charset attack using hashcat. And if we know something about the password, like how much length it is or what sort of characters are used or any symbols are used, we can customize the attack and we can carry out a brute force attack using hashcat.